Hello everyone, let's get started. Today I have two topics to cover. Why I stick to my guns with Shane Ellis' theory about the steep and fast price surge, and I will try to answer some questions. Why do I stick to my guns? Well, 1,000 connected dots can't be wrong. We have all those upgrades happening in November. Is that a coincidence? Like the Ripple Net Data API, the SwiftNet GPI upgrade requirements, and Temenos also seems to be upgrading their latest software. Then of course we have all those riddlers, Bearable Guy, 123 Decoder, Fritz the Bear, Ripple Riddler, all point to November and December. Second point, I talked about that in an earlier video, regulation. I don't think regulation is required after all, even though the whole XRP community has been waiting for it for the whole year basically. But in a video from Patrick Griffin, he basically stated that Ripple sees RippleNet more as an infrastructure. Remember this Aussie layer model I talked about several times in my other videos? So the RippleNet is on a really lower level, and they don't think that on this infrastructure level regulation is required. Also, when you have a payment, there are two things occurring. The payment, the actual obligation, which would allow the recipient of the money to have the money, I think it's called incurred. He could make it happen by law that he receives the money, and the settlement. And as we know, Swift handles the payment, the obligation, whereas RippleNet handles the settlement. That the RippleNet could handle both in the same time, I think it's just a coincidence, and would even help this regulation after all once it's really there. Then there was arguments about why not banks and Ripple and whomever is involved in those cross-border payments wouldn't prefer a slow price increase. Well, could be, but that would mean that the high value payments cannot go through so easily, which has been stated by David Schwartz. I have posted a link to two tweets he has made regarding that. And as we know, the big savings comes from freeing up the Nostro account, and low value payments just won't cut it there. In a simple explanation, why would you want to drive your sports car only in first gear? Doesn't make sense. Also, I have put in the PDF a link to a tweet with an image from an interview with Ashish Biela, where he basically stated that the clients from Ripple prefer XRP over fiat for cross-border payments. So that's basically the reasons why I still stick to my guns with the Shane Ellis theory. High and fast price surge in the near future. Thousands of dots connected, regulations not required, slow price wouldn't help freeing up Nostro accounts, and even Ripple is aware that the price should be higher for high value transactions. Now to the second main topic, the questions. Some people ask, should I in this Shane Ellis theory, should I create a sell order now at an arbitrary high value? And even basically Shane explained, no, you shouldn't. The reason is, if the value of that sell order is too low, it might not be executed after all, because the transaction needs to go fast, so they will only consume the high value transaction. If on the other hand it's too high, it might not be executed due to the high value sell walls being created by the preferred X-Rapid exchanges. And by the way, on Bittrex for about 2 weeks now, there are 2 sell walls. One is around 10,000 in the value of roughly 600 million, and one is around 20,000 in the value of around 400 million. I don't want to confirm that we will get there. I believe it could very well be preparation for exactly what Shane tried to bring across. Then another question I want to quickly pick up again around arbitrage. Some argue that a high price surge and fast price surge wouldn't work due to arbitrage, and I stick to my argument. Whom would sell on one exchange an XRP for $1, knowing he could get 500 on another exchange? Stupid, no one would. So the arbitrage differences will be as it's today, like on a fraction of a percent basis, and I guess that would be quite acceptable. Then there was arguments around slippage. Slippage is basically when all those sell orders have to be filled, the price rises, and the last price has basically a difference from the average price you consume, and there are many people having fear around that. However, Miguel Villas basically confirmed in a video, I've put the link again, that Ripple could and will most likely cover for these losses in slippage until the price is stable. Then there was a question around the exchanges. Would it make sense for those banks and everyone connected to the Ripple net, would it make sense for them to have their own exchanges and not the retail exchanges where we buy our XRP? I will explain you why not. Okay, so this one here, me and my friend issued. This will basically give me the right to buy from my friend wine, or a friend of mine can buy with me vegetable and stuff. It's only within our friends community, okay? Now this is official Swiss money. Let's assume you, the viewer, wants to sell me a pair of shoes. Which one would you accept? This one stands for kind of private exchanges, and this one is for public exchanges. I guess we all agree we would prefer that one. And the reason is the value being transferred through those systems, through the RippleNet, has to be a value. Otherwise they could simply send a message, I send you now, but then they could send 1,000 such messages and just pile up value on the other side. So there is a reason why it has to be value being transferred in that system. And last but not least, I really want to thank one of my biggest supporter, Jack the Rippler. on YouTube. He has created the Bearable Guy 123 Believer group on Telegram. I have put the link into the PDF as well. And with that, I want to reiterate, check out the description of this video, open the PDF and go through the content I have just covered now. With that, I wish you a nice day or evening. Here it's starting to get dark. Thanks, see you next time. Today I won't sing, no.